don't know. I'm afraid.
Christ, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Damien!
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
The Exorcist recap. What to remember before Believer. The Exorcist is widely regarded as one of the best horror films of all time, featuring iconic moments, excellent performances, and a genuinely terrifying atmosphere. The film tells the story of 12-year-old Regan McNeil, who becomes possessed by a demon, leading her mother to seek help from a Catholic priest. The climax of the film involves a tense exorcism scene, with the demon eventually leaving Regan and possessing the priest, resulting in a sacrificial act that saves her. What happens at the beginning of The Exorcist? In northern Iraq, Catholic priest and archaeologist Father Lancaster Marin comes across a medallion of Saint Joseph and another piece that represents the ancient demon Pazuzu while on an archaeological dig. This is just one of the series of strange events he encounters there. As he readies for the trip home, he sees a large Pazuzu statue with two dogs fighting before it. Back in Washington, D.C., actress Chris McNeil is working on a film. While in the area, she has rented a home for herself and her daughter Regan, one that comes with a handful of servants. One day, Chris hears noises in the attic, which Regan insists come from her imaginary friend Captain Howdy, whom she communicates with via Ouija board. Meanwhile, a statue of Virgin Mary is found desecrated in a nearby church. While filming, Chris notices Catholic priest Damien Karras, played by Jason Miller, watching the proceedings. Karras, who uses his skills as a psychiatrist to counsel fellow priests, has issues of his own, battling with a crisis of faith and the guilt of not being by his mother's side when she passed away. How does Regan become possessed? Chris throws a party at her home, with the attendees including a priest named Father Dyer. Chris asks him about Karras, who is a good friend of Dyer's, with Dyer explaining Karras' role as a counselor. With the party in full swing, Regan comes downstairs after being sent to bed dressed in her nightgown and just stands there vacant. She speaks to a party guest who happens to be an astronaut and ominously says, "You're gonna die up there." Regan then urinates on the carpet in front of the guest. Chris takes her upstairs, but as she walks away, a loud sound sends her back to Regan's room, where Regan's bed is shaking violently and levitating. Regan is put through a series of medical tests because obviously a shaking, levitating bed is a medical issue, but doctors can't find anything wrong with her. Back home, Regan appears to have a seizure, but when two doctors try to sedate her, she throws them across the room, shouting, "Keep away, the sow is mine," in a voice that's definitely not hers. With no explanations, the doctors suggest Chris seek out a psychiatrist or perhaps an exorcist. Father Marin and Father Karras to the rescue. Upon returning home one evening, Chris finds Regan alone in her bitterly cold bedroom asleep. Her friend Burke was supposed to be looking after her, but he's nowhere to be found. Wait, there he is, on an outdoor staircase below Regan's window, dead and with his head turned backward. Upon hearing a male voice cry "do it" from Regan's bedroom, Chris runs in, only to find Regan stabbing at her genitals with a crucifix. Unable to stop her, and with furniture moving around the room on its own, Chris can only look on Regan's head turns backward and speaks to her in Burke's voice. Finally, at the point where she has to believe that possession is a very real possibility, she calls upon Karras to come over. Over the course of a few meetings, Regan claims to be the devil. Projectile vomits into Karras' face. "It will turn you off, peace forever." Speaks in tongues, reacts violently to holy water, and has the words "help me" etched on her skin. Convinced an exorcism is warranted, Karras approaches his superior, who grants him permission, but on the condition that an experienced priest performs the rite, with Karras assisting Father Marin. How does The Exorcist end? Maren arrives at the house and promptly warns the inexperienced Karis to expect the demon to attack psychologically before entering Regan's bedroom. The pair read the exorcism rite from the Roman ritual, with the demon cursing them throughout. Sensing Karis to be the weaker of the two, the demon focuses its venom on him, attacking his loss of faith and mocking his guilt over his mother's death. After leaving the room, momentarily, Karis enters only to find the demon appearing as his mother. Maren kicks Karis out of the room, continuing the exorcism on his own. After having collected himself, Karis re-enters the room to find that Maren has died. Angered, Karis attacks Regan and demands the demon leave her and possess him instead. The demon rips a medallion of Saint Joseph from Karis' neck before leaving Regan for Karis. With Regan free, Karis hurls himself with the demon out the window. Chris holds her healed daughter tightly as Father Dyer gives the dying Karis last rites. When the McNeil prepares to leave, Regan, despite having no memory of the demonic events, runs to Father Dyer and gives him a kiss on the cheek upon seeing his clerical collar. Well, that was a short history of The Exorcist, but as it stands, it's unknown to what degree, if any, the other franchise projects will play an Exorcist believer. What director David Gordon Green has made clear, however, is that the new film is not ignoring the other entries. I like all the Exorcist movies, Green says. Not only do I like them, I think they can all fall into the acceptable mythology for what I'm doing. They're all fine to exist, and I enjoy all of them. What's important is that the new sequel honors the film that started it all, and if it comes even close, then fans are in for a hell of a ride.